actually like looked like a rudder, I was like, ooh.
Did that boost your confidence?
Totally. What, there's no, it had to.
So I'm here with a guy named Greg. Greg is an auto mechanic that we've become friends. He is one of the first guys that wanted to volunteer to help with the Cessna. And I think this has kind of encouraged him to build his own aircraft. As you can say, he is knee deep into a Zenith. We took you for a ride in a J3. I think at that point you've seen how simple aviation really could be.
Yeah, it was a jalopy. It's well put together.
It's very primitive.
It was well put together, but it was, when I figured out that my seat was basically sitting where the gas tank was, and the gas tank was a coat hanger that bobbed on a piece of cork, I was like,
that's the fuel gauge. So
yeah. I thought that was over the top. I was like, okay.
Well, you know, you're dealing with 1930s technology.
Sure.
And they're using what's available to them. So there's a lot of wood in that thing too.
And that's why I'm building this.
And fabric.
I absolutely do not want 1930s technology.
So you got a Zenith. The Zenith is right here in Missouri, at Mexico, Missouri. I guess they've got a pretty good support team. I've never dealt with them. He's dealing with them. This is.
I've called them 4 times, twice for technical assistance. They answer on the 3rd ring. Get you right to an engineer.
Do they know you by now?
Not
because you're the pain in the ass.
No, I give them my serial number or my last name, and they look it up by serial number, and they're extremely helpful.
Oh, so they keep all your information, so they're ready to help you out.
Oh yeah. Oh, they know it. They know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't call them after hours. They won't answer.
Well, they're probably not there.
They're not. They work early too, like early.
Earlier than you?
Nope. But just in time for me. Because I'll give them a call in the morning, get my answer, work, go home, fix my problem.
So you're talking about putting a UL powered motor on here.
I want a 390.
A 390, which is, we said 160 horse?
140.
140?
Well, you can get it in 2 different variants. I want the low compression.
Oh yeah. So
I think ping is less, has less of a chance of being an issue if I go with the lower compression.
yeah. Now does this have foldable wings?
Yes.
On the 750?
Yes.
So you'll be able to put it in the garage?
Yes. This hanger is the garage.
There you go.
Yep.
Just a basic guy building a basic airplane.
I've had people already tell me, that's stupid.
Oh really? There's probably people think you're crazy just because you're building an airplane.
Well.
Because like before you were building an airplane, you didn't think this was achievable.
Not until I rode in the Cub, and then not until I started reading about Zenith and other. I mean, I researched other planes, but so I really wanted all metal. I really wanted all metal.
Why?
I wanted no fabric. I didn't want shit to do with fabric.
Why are you afraid of fabric? There's some really great fabric airplanes.
Not for my first one.
Even the DC-3's got fabric control surfaces.
Not for my first plane.
We're talking a big one that hauls ass through the air.
Not for my first plane. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea, huh?
I wanted something that could take a dent. So I could fucking come in and hit a bush and go pow. Or a bird.
I think fabric is pretty durable.
If I hit a bird in this thing, it's just going to make a dent. It's going to.
Man, I think you'd be surprised what birds will do to aluminum. Depends on how big a bird. Are you hitting a songbird or a goose?
You gotta figure, my top speed is 100 knots. That's the top speed. So you're cruising around at, what, 70?
Yeah, that ain't much different than the 150.
Take a bird at 70 and it's all aluminum. It'll dent it, but you're not coming down. It's not gonna.
Well, you're not gonna come down on a fabric one either.
Man, so the other day I was watching YouTube and the guy was selling, and this is an ultralight.
You gotta watch out for those YouTube guys.
This is an ultralight that he was talking about, and he was talking about it had sail fabric. And I used to sail boats, so I know what sail fabric is, and it feels different when you touch it. So he was pounding on the wings, telling you how good the fabric was, and then he took 3 fingers and punched right through it. Everywhere between a spar, he punched right through the fabric. And all I could think about was a bird hitting it, just like that, blowing a hole in it, having it balloon your wing, having it shred your wing, and then having it fall out of the sky.
It would just punch a hole through it. So you would have a hole instead of a dent. And you're not going to fall out of the
If
sky.
it punches in like this and it catches all the wind and it balloons the sail and then blows the wing apart.
Nah. I think you're going too far into that.
I'm sure I am. That's why I'm building a metal one. I plan on killing the bird. Like killing it. Like it's going to hit the wing and then it's going to die.
Oh, this is awesome.
Where'd that dead come from? That dead bird. That big, big dead bird.
Goal at the end of the day, don't hit birds.
Well, for sure, but some days. it
Shit
just
happens, right?
It
Like landing
just
planes and
happens.
corn.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know all about the corn. Come on, baby.
Oh, Don's been sick, so I haven't done much with the 150 this weekend. Matter of fact, I haven't touched it at all. I stayed away from his house.
He doesn't have the vids, does he?
Huh?
He doesn't have the vids, does he?
I don't know. I don't think he's got the symptoms. He had real bad diarrhea. That could be one of the
I don't
symptoms.
know if that's a symptom or not.
I don't know either. I'm not going up there because I don't want it.
For sure.
I don't want nothing to do with it. Matter of fact, being so cold, I stayed home. The roads are bad conditions, icy, snowy. I didn't want to drag the Cessna along. The roads were salt.
Yeah, 'cause
so the
otherwise-
Cessna's still at Don's.
Yeah, otherwise we would be moving the Cessna today.
Yeah, we were going to move it today. And all of a sudden the weather went south. So
Somebody.
it is what it is.
I can't get this one.
That to me looks like just a pop rivet though. So you have to buy all these materials from Zenith.
Yes. This is what it makes. This is the tail, obviously.
Yeah, I never seen it assembled.
But that's the rivet it makes. See how it's nice.
Yeah, it's a
and
button head.
nice and domed.
It doesn't appear that way until you squeeze it though.
No,
huh?
it forms the rivet that way. It forms it to that. It's called a 40-degree head. And there's in the blueprints it denotes whether or not you're going to put a 40 in there or a normal in there or a.
Now how come you didn't finish these down here?
Because those. Go to this.
That is a lot of squeezing rivets.
Oh shit! You have no idea. That goes in there
Oh,
because that's the hinge assembly. That is not. It's complete, but it's not done. That's why those are still in there, and those will stay in there forever until that section is done. There's a spar in there. In fact, this skin fits so tight it dented it. Right. One right there. There's a little bitty one right there.
oh, I can barely feel that.
Oh, it's barely. But when you spend as much time as I spent on this thing, you go, oh.
So you got to get this all trial fitted so
And
that
then
you
take
can
it
take
all
it back
apart.
apart so you can prime it. Which I know as well as you, that's a ton of work.
Yeah, but it's the right way to do it.
What is this spot up here for?
Mounts. When it's
What mounts into that?
okay, hold on. Think about it. It's upside down.
Right.
That's where it mounts to the fuselage.
Does this have
Right there. And two mounts, 1, 2 right there.
Oh, okay.
In fact, the mounts are right there.
Oh, okay.
Forward mount, rear mount, and then some. That's the horn.
And you got to mount all that inside the wing before you skin it too, don't you?
Yeah, no, it's all out of there right now just to skin it. Because I have to.
That is
Here's
so
what's
much
true.
work.
I have to skin it so that I can skin this guy, so that I can put him on the hinges and set my shims.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And in order to put it on the hinges, I got to put this guy on. No, this guy, and this guy on.
And that's just one wing.
But I don't want to take that out because there's a tiny little bushing in there. I don't want to lose it.
Right, yeah.
So that's why that came off as is. And
So no wonder you needed a bunch more Clecos. I should have brought you even more. But that was
you have no idea. I mean,
there was 96 on that rack,
no,
so
I guarantee I'll use them all probably tonight. Because what I need to do is I need to tie up this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Nah, that's about it for that guy before I move him off and then switch benches and then this.
So when you bought this here, is this come in the kit for the entire wing, or is this just the leading edge of the wing?
No, this is the tail. This is the horizontal stab.
Oh,
And
this all makes sense
That's
now.
the elevator. And this is the trim tab.
Okay. That's why it makes sense to me. That's why
So there's a hinge, and
now it makes sense.
An inverted.
Because I know a tail doesn't actually fly; it holds it down. So that makes
that's
so
an
much
inverted
sense
wing
now.
Pushing it
Down.
Naturally pushing it down. Trim tab. Trim tab electronics.
God, that looks so fantastic.
Oh, doesn't it? Trim tab electronics, servo, an LED. I think that's the switch, or vice versa. One of the two. I got to put the servo. It's out of storage because I have to mount the. I have to mount the servo. I have to mount the servo, and I have to mount the wire. Comes in here. And I do still have to drill these guys. So I have to draw a 10 mil line on this guy, that guy, that guy, and that guy, and then drill them. And I can't do that until I start mounting these guys. This is what skins look like.
Oh wow.
That's a leading edge.
So it comes pre-drilled with the holes in it.
Yes.
Now you say some of them in
These
some
holes
places
are right.
have
These
to be
holes
drilled.
are wrong. So you can find them, and then you got to run a drill bit in to make, because this is
the
a
proper
4,
size.
This is a 4. This is a 3. You run a drill bit in there, and as soon as the drill bit comes out of the hole, a Cleco
We're
goes
gonna
in.
give a big shout out here to Greg. Support him on his Zenith. We're gonna follow him on this build, and hopefully within a couple years, we're gonna see this dude fly.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, it's just going to be the biggest art project you ever did see.
Yeah. There's enough static displays in the world. We don't need any more.
No, this is planning to go. It's planning to go. That garage was built for a purpose. This whole basement was built as a metal shop. I just didn't know I was going to be building this kind of metal. All right.
Look at that windsock barely moving. It'd be right down the diagonal runway right there. If we had a set of skis for the J3, that'd be a blast. I understand J3s are pretty cold, and I'll be honest, as much as I've flown it, I've yet to fly it in the cold weather.